those bets in for the primetime game. That's what we do here on the Drive Thru, Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Is delivered live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. All right, with us is Chris Ruffolo. It's Wednesdays with Mitch. Big Al McMordie. We got Rod Zawacky. Daniel Lang will sign in bottom of the hour. We're looking for Wayne. And here's how they'll line up for this evening.
On days.
That's right. Ruffolo, Mitch, McMordie, Scott, Zawacky, Lane, then I will close this one out. All right. A lot of college basketball on the board tonight. NBA schedules a nice 14-game card. Of course, we've got some action on the ice. And let's get this one underway. Let's go ahead and welcome in Chris Ruffolo. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Hope you catch the morning shows. Here during the week, it's 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time with Chris, Jay, and Mitch. And, of course, Chris has his video series, NHL Wraparound, which we'll talk about a little later in the segment. So let's go ahead and get Chris here, ready to roll here on a Wednesday. Chris, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. I'm just enjoying the afternoon college hoops. Creighton coming through, thankfully. Now watching this Memphis game, and oh boy, Michigan's in trouble. Memphis looks solid. I'm starting to love all these early takeaways that we're going to be able to use down the road.
Oh yeah, that's right. Of course, what have you taken so far in college hoops? I mean, you've been really hot in the leaderboards in NBA as well.
It's just, I think right now I'm just trying to gain a sample size. Right now, through the first couple games of college hoops, I won't lie to you, it's been difficult. Just with you know as well as I do, just with how many moving pieces there are, especially in college hoops, the transfer portal now, a big thing. Just trying to keep track of where a lot of these guys go. You have some of our guys that we know from, watching these guys year in and year out. Like just the first one that comes to my mind, Tyler Perry, a guy that I watched at North Texas, and now he's, hooping it up at Kansas State. And it's just seeing all the moving pieces and just trying to figure out where guys are going. But just seeing like how certain teams are hitting the portal hard. Tom Izzo's still keeping it in-house at Michigan State. Some things are working, some things aren't. So
loyalty. It's all about loyalty.
Yeah.
I'm loyal to my guys. I'm going to get the best recruits. That's how he looks at it.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? To each their own, right? I mean, there's a reason he's kept his job as long as he has, and has had as much success as he has. So,
all right. Speaking of loyalty, these Shark fans have been disloyal. There've been a lot of empty seats, but they're on the road tonight against the Kraken here. It's been a tough year for the Sharks and the Kraken. Kraken big favorites here, total 6. Yeah,
and it's going to be weird for the Sharks playing in a stadium with actual fans tonight. You got the Kraken. This is a Kraken team that, going back to last year, the Kraken would play their best hockey on the road. Now, has that happened this year? No. The Kraken haven't necessarily been great wherever they've gone. I mean, if you look at some of their numbers, they are back below 500 on the road, which again is big for this Kraken team. That's where I believe they were the most profitable road team in the NHL last season, but they're also 3-5-1 at home this season. But for me, this is strictly a play against the San Jose Sharks, and this is one of those things that's just going to be like, there's certain things that you don't do in life. You don't spit, you don't eat Yellowstone, you don't bet on the San Jose Sharks and the puck line on the road. So far this season, 0-8 on the road, both straight up and on the puck line, and they've lost those 8 games by a combined score of 32-5. The Sharks, basically their MO this season, more often than not, 1 goal or less being scored. And as long as the Kraken are able to put up a handful of goals here, 3-4 goals, that should be enough to get us to a puck line cover here. The Kraken's offense not great, 2.7 goals per game. But against the San Jose Sharks, you don't necessarily have to be great. You just have to be good enough, and I think they are good enough here to cover the puck line. So give me the Kraken, -1.5 over the Sharks.
All right, Chris says go ahead and take this Kraken's team here, puck line, as you can see here at -114 against the Sharks here. Seems to me like a bit of a low number, right? I mean, that's what got my attention here because we've seen how poor the Sharks have been. But, it's interesting because Rod made a good comment a while back when the Sharks are giving up 10 goals a game at home. He felt the team would start going to more of a defensive shell, and we've seen a lot of unders since those 2 disasters at home.
Yeah, but a lot of that is just simply the fact that the Sharks can't contribute to a total. I don't have the number in front of me, but the amount of times that the Sharks have scored 1 goal or less in a game this season, there's a reason that this Sharks team is dead last in the NHL. They're scoring 1.5 goals per game. And to put it into perspective, they're giving up 4.2. So they're being outscored by 2.7 goals per game. Now, a lot of that has to do with those 10-goal games like you mentioned, but even then, It's you still got to be able to at least do your part and try to keep yourselves in games. The other team's not going to do it for you. So, like I said, I have no idea why the Sharks are this bad, but they are. There's just really no explanation for it. It's just teams are beating them up, teams are taking advantage. At a certain point, you'd think they would say enough is enough, but they haven't gotten to that point yet.
I saw them in preseason with their AHL guys out here, and they didn't look that bad. I didn't think this was going to happen. I mean, this shocked me even as well. All right, here we go. Kraken puck line, laid the puck in half, -114 here against the Sharks tonight here at 10 Eastern time. All right, Chris, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Print for tonight's action. Of course, we got Hoops, 14-game card, NBA, large card from hockey, lots of college hoops as well on the landscape tonight. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Yeah, just going one day at a time with this, this college hoops card. Going NBA as well today. Got an NBA 3-pack. Also got my $19 NBA fast break. So if you want the 3-pack, that $19 play is included. Also got a 3-pack for the NHL. And if you hop on a long-term pass, it's the way to go. Best value. You're going to get coverage basically all through the college football Saturday. It's about the same price. Actually, yeah, I think it's the same price as buying both today's packages individually. So definitely hop on a 3-day pass, whether it's just me or someone else part of the multi-capital promotion. Best value over at Pick Dogs Premium. You can't go wrong.
That's right, guys. Get aboard with Chris Ruffolo over at Pick Dog Premium. He's been on a monster run right now for the last 30 days. Add another 100 units to that. 2770 here the last 30 days. Chris has been on fire. Get those long-term passes. 1-month pass. Great right now with all these sports overlapping. Remember the promo code PICK to save that. 15% off. All right, Chris, as always, great having your show. Continue that great success. We'll catch up with you again next week. But let everybody know what you got going on. We catch in the mornings. We catch those videos up on the site as well. That's on the channel, as well as your NHL wraparound series.
Yeah, Tony, just tons of stuff going on now that college hoops is in full swing. Mitch will tell you as well as I do. We're burning the candle at both ends, trying to keep up with all these college teams and NBA. But I'm doing the NHL series as well, and it's not just me. Rod's doing the single game videos. I'm doing for the more rundown style, covering every game as well. But yeah, you got to just make sure that you have those notifications turned on, and make sure you're subscribed so that you get the newest and freshest content when we drop it at Pick Dogs. Get coverage across the board from multiple cappers.
That's right, guys. Check them out. Like, subscribe, set notifications so when these videos drop or Chris is live, get these wraparound videos. You get them right there, right away. All right, Chris, have a great week. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Sounds good, Tony. Take care.
Yeah, Chris Ruffolo here on The Drive Thru. Let's continue on here on the show. Up next, let's bring him in right now, Mitch. Catch him in the mornings here, as well as his video series, 7 Picks in 5 minutes. Bring him in right now. Mitch, what's going on?
Nothing much, Tony. Taking in, what is one of the best weeks of college sports of the year. We've got these college basketball tournaments, a sport where no one's really playing a cupcake schedule to start the season like they do in football. Hopefully that changes with the playoff. Won't see, schedules like Michigan's was this year. But we'll see, you see the big boys taking on the big boys, with no penalty. And I think that's just the way that it should be. And we kind of get a test, like Chris said, we get a chance to gauge some of these teams. And, all this stuff helps us later on, especially when we get to see some of these smaller teams in action as well. That's right. Sometimes some of the bigger upsets we've seen already, but we'll see how these teams, how they shake these upsets and just continue to move forward. Again, of course, Big Ten, the conference play, it gets crazy. Also, too, when you look at the additions here in that Big 12, that Big 12 is going to be something this year. I really think Cincinnati is going to compete in that Big 12 this year. I don't think that they're just happy to be there and they'll be like football where they had an off or down year. They've actually been building for this, and when they hired Wes Miller a couple of years ago, it's been a little bit of a building process with him getting his players. Cincinnati, not a big transfer portal team. They are a big recruiting team, and that's what they've done this season. I like that team. It's going to be, I think, fun to see them in that Big 12. What about Houston? Well, Houston is a home wrecker. We already know that. And I think, for Houston, I think after last year's disappointment, losing to Miami in the tournament, really in a one-sided game, I think, they have certainly some answers that they have to find. I think maybe getting Cryer from Baylor, maybe he provides those answers. But, of course, they lost some big guns from that team as well. But Kelvin Sampson, he just reloads, and he's done that everywhere he's ever been. I think that, when you look at Baylor, they lose Cryer, you wouldn't even know it. That roster, I don't even know, if he would even make this team. It's so good that they have this year as well. So a lot of good teams out there. The Big 12 is running super deep again. I looked at bracketology already because Big Al and I were having an argument about like number one seeds and all this bullshit about it. But the thing is that I was looking at the early bracketology and they have Oklahoma out. It's like, have you not watched a game? It's like, these guys are. Porter Mosier's got the offense shooting at 52% from the floor. It's like they're not out,
Yeah. With Oklahoma, they got to do it in conference, right? They had a horrible conference season last year. I want to bring up too. This would be interesting. A little wrinkle in that Big 12 is how BYU, that home court, Marriott Center.
Also, but BYU, the thing about this BYU team. We saw BYU have the big offense when they had the Jimmer Fredette teams. Then they had kind of better defense the last few years. But this year, they've got the loaded offense and the loaded defense. They are a live dog too in that Big 12. It is going to be tough sledding for some of these middle Big 12 teams like the Oklahoma States of the world. They're going to have a tough time, and I think TCU will have to step it up as well.
Yeah, see how West Virginia does. They have a tough schedule right now. When you look at their schedule, man, it's tough.
It's a tough schedule. They got a tough one right now. They're playing against Virginia, and of course, coaching change there as well. So it's always tough when it's an unplanned coaching change.
Yeah, that's a tough one. We're coming here to NBA tonight. We've seen this Rockets with the coaching change, added some veterans, definitely completely changed the profile here with this Rockets teams. Grizzlies, tough start out of the blocks here. Rockets 5.5 now, total to 13.5.
Well, John Morant's got to stay the hell off of TikTok. That's number one for the Grizzlies to really be able to do anything. But aside from that, what we're seeing is that both these teams are actually D'ing it up a little bit. The Grizzlies have had some success against the number in 3 of their last 4 games because they've been D'ing it up a lot more than they did earlier in the season. What we saw from the Grizzlies in the past when John Morant was out, they just played really, really good defense, and they were able to kind of get by until he got back in there. So it looks like they're starting to buy back into that, but the problem is they're playing against a Rockets team here that already has bought into that and has a shutdown defense. When we look at the Grizzlies offense, versus the Rockets defense, I have a lot of concerns here, and because the thing is that the Rockets or the Grizz have no problem shooting up the three. They're 4th in the NBA in 3-pointers per game attempted, 41.3 threes a game. So they're also 8th in the NBA in 3-pointers made. But the problem is that's 26th in the league in 3-point shooting percentage up against a team that is top 3 in almost every defensive category. It's going to be a long, long day from the arc for the Grizz in this game. And, when you look at the Grizzlies defense, really doesn't match up well at all against anybody. Dead last in 3-point shooting percentage against. Teams shoot 41.5% from beyond the arc against the Grizzlies. This game is going to be one-sided. And it looks to be like, a lot of cute money is on the Grizzlies. A lot of the same people that hop on there. Oh, I got the bad team, so I'm getting value. And a lot of time we do get that. I loved the Thunder Buddies for years, right? I was the guy who was one of the first on board. And my process with the Sixers started when they were getting a zillion points and covering games, as one of the worst teams in the league. The Brooklyn Nets, when the Cavs had their draft choice, remember, it was like, we got the Nets draft choice. The Nets weren't bad. They covered like no one's business those years. We see the Orlando Magic, last year they covered so much people actually thought they were almost a playoff team. They weren't close, but the thing is, that's where it all begins, is playing defense, and the Rockets seem to have bought into that. So against the good teams, it's going to give you a chance to keep it close, to win or cover at the end. And against the bad teams like Memphis, these are the games they're going to win and win handily.
All right, Mitch here on the Rockets lane 5.5. There's some 5s in the marketplace. Have multiple outs out there, guys. Get the best numbers. Yeah, it was interesting. Some people were making they were questioning the addition of Dillon Brooks on Houston. Maybe that should change in attitude. Maybe give more defensive presence. Fred VanVleet coming over from Toronto. An outside shooter. Your thoughts with these veterans in the mix now?
I just think that, it'll help in the mix. You don't want to obviously destroy the chemistry because it looks like you have things going in the right direction. I think when you have these young teams like the Rockets and the Spurs and teams like that, it's important that these players know their roles. I think at least the Rockets are building that they think they might have a chance to win sooner rather than later, and that's the only reason that you would do that. Of course, the Spurs, they know they're not going to win now, but it's like for some reason some of the players on that team believe that they're going to be part of the team when they actually can turn things around if that happens. I mean, obviously, if the Spurs continue to play defense like they do, that's not going to happen. But it's like, a lot of these young teams, it's tough to get the guys to buy in because most guys have been superstars their whole life. They're getting drafted by the worst teams in the league. They didn't have to really play as much defense. They were just counted on to be, the big scorer on the team. And now here they are in the NBA where it's like everybody is good.
I got to wonder
most
what's
guys
like.
Are better than them.
I got to wonder what it's like for a guy like Marcus Smart to come out from a Celtics team that has some structure over to this Memphis team.
Well, I mean, he's got to be happy to not have to play with Jason Tatum and that garbage that he puts out on a regular basis, especially in the big moments and the competitive minutes. So at least he has a chance to play with some guys who at least try and care and are not just there to root on the crowd when you're up by 32 against, against like a Pelicans team without Zion or something, because that's all Tatum is really good for. When it comes to the big games, he leaves it in the locker room. We saw that the other night once again in overtime. He had down by 3. He had 3 free throw attempts, hit the first 2, bricked the 3, and of course it was Gordon Hayward that hit 2 from the charity stripe to ice it on him, to really rub salt in the wound, because we all know there's very few stiffs in the NBA that are more stiff than Gordon Hayward.
That's right. Interesting, Mitch. We look at some of the fastest teams in the NBA. I'll give you the 5 fastest teams: Pacers, Wizards, Hawks, Mavericks, Spurs. Out of those, none of them play defense. Interesting. The fast-paced teams are having difficulty on the defensive end, and even the Bucks, number 6.
The Pacers only gave up 151 last night. So over 300 points in a regular season, non-All-Star game environment, right? It's like that was crazy, but I think that for some of those teams, it can only get you so far. There's never been like an offensive, pure offensive team in any sport that's ever won anything in any sport. It always comes down to defense. Every guy in the NBA can shoot a basketball. Every single one of them. The defense, rebounding, that's something special. And I think, coming back to this Houston-Memphis game that I was talking about, Memphis is abysmal on the boards. They are abysmal, and Houston's actually pretty good. And Memphis, they're just absolutely terrible. So actually in defensive rebounding, Memphis is 27th in the league. I mean, terrible, man. Like, why is showing up?
There we go. Well, yeah, Memphis having difficulty there on the defensive glass, even overall class, bottom 3rd team on overall defensive rebounding and rebounding. Memphis here, Rockets lay the 5 here against the Grizzlies tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern time on that 14-game NBA card. All right, Mitch, so everybody knows what's going on over at Pick Dogs. Of course, head into the holiday season, looking forward to the close of November, and December not too far away.
Yep, we're all excited about everything going on at Pick Dogs. If you want to really follow everything, sign up for our newsletter. That's where it kind of all gets done. I don't write the newsletter anymore. It's written in my tone, but I don't actually write it. But you guys should get it. You get all the latest, find out all the latest that's going on at Pick Dogs. But we also, we have, it's the holidays. We appreciate everybody. We just want to let you guys know that, as always. We're thankful for you. And, I would always say, well, then we would just be talking to ourselves if we didn't have all of you. But I'm fine with that, too. But the thing is we do have all of you, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And I think, in the biggest travel days of the year, be safe out there. There's a lot of idiots, man.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Be safe. We'll catch you guys here, back off the holidays. All right, Mitch, as always, great having you on the show. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great Thanksgiving. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Happy Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, and, of course, halftime of all 3 NFL games.
You got to check out Mitch there on the halftime shows. Make sure you like, subscribe, set those notifications, so when Mitch is live at halftime, you get those picks right away. All right, Mitch, have a great night.
So.
Mitch here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here on the show. Up next, Big Al McMordie. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We're dark tomorrow. Mitch will be on the air with those halftime shows, so we'll have Big Al tonight. And we're gonna go to Saturday college football from Big Al, one of the rivalry games, and we'll get him in here in just a second. Of course, we'll talk about his video series as well. Bring him in right now. Big Al, what's going on?
Not much. How's my favorite handicapper doing today?
Oh, thank you very much for that. I'm doing great. Looking forward to the holidays. And, of course, these great matchups, these great rivalry games. And we got one here, Iron Bowl, Alabama and Auburn going head-to-head here. Auburn, the dog here. Alabama, 14 on the road, total 48.5.
Yeah, last week Auburn was stunned by New Mexico State. They were favored by 25 points. They lost outright 31-10. I'm going to look for the Tigers to bounce back off that debacle. Teams off upset losses that failed to cover the spread by 35 or more points. They've done quite well their next game. They've gone 177 and 139 ATS. And also Auburn is 9-5 ATS versus its rival Alabama when coming off a loss, including 4-0 ATS off an upset loss. We see this time and time again in this series. Just when you think a team won't be able to compete, it pulls an upset, and I think that's what Auburn's going to do on Saturday. I'm going to take them plus the points. I would not be surprised if they won the game straight up.
Wow, boy, would that really piss off the SEC if that happens. Auburn there plus 14.5. We're calling for some chaos.
Yeah.
Let's get some chaos there in the playoff talk. No doubt about that here. I'm going to ask you this question. I never asked you this question, Big Guy. I know you've got that database. Do you ever chart coaching, or where does coaching impact the most in the sport, any sport?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't have coaches in the database, so I can't answer that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. I was just wondering. Of course, it's interesting. As you follow your numbers, that there's going to be some situations where your eye test, and you see the number, and then your eyes tell you something else. How do you handle those situations?
Don't watch the games, and you don't have an eye test.
There you go. Well, you can't. Sometimes you watch the games, though, right?
Yeah. No. I mean, it's I trust my numbers more than my eye test. Put it that way.
I got you.
That's just me. I don't.
You watch the games, but again, it's just a snapshot of, and it's what people don't understand.
I'm watching the games when I've got a bet on the game, and I care about the bet. I'm not watching the game to determine whether or not I'm going to bet on a team the next game. I mean, I'm just watching the game to enjoy the bet. So,
right. Because the data, the data covers every possession. Your eyes can't.
Yeah, I mean, everything's baked into the data. I don't, the data is going to tell me that a team, has an average point spread differential of minus 7.37. I don't need to watch the games and figure out, I'm going to look at the math.
Do you ever, when you find value number, is it more point spread, or you look at money lines also?
I'm point spread.
Point spreads. Okay.
Yeah, for me.
All right. There you go. Just get the information from Big Al. He likes here Auburn plus 14. There may be some 14.5s out there in the marketplace. So you guys, as always, shop your lines. I guess
there's 14.5 at DraftKings.
DraftKings and FanDuel have 14.5. That hook is always, it's important. This is a key number there. So take it there. Auburn plus 14.5 against Alabama. Saturday on CBS. All right, Big Al. Let's take a look over at Pick Dodge for tonight's action. Of course, we got a big 14-game card they gave us here right before Thanksgiving, right? 14-game cards, NBA, hockey on the board, lots of college hoops. Head into NFL week, NFL 3-pack tomorrow, the Egg Bowl as well. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge? Big Al here, been doing great last 30 days.
Yeah, I've got 7 games in the NBA tonight, Tony, including my NBA game of the month. I've got 2 plays in college, off to a great start this basketball season, 48 wins, 34 losses, and a push. Over the past 3+ years in basketball, I'm up, I think, 142 net games after the juice. So that's, running about an average of, 40 to 50 net games a year. If folks want to join, just go to the Pick Dogs Premium, and you can join for a week, a month, or a year. And then for football, I've got 3 plays. I've got 7 plays in the NFL already posted. I'll have my college posted overnight. And I've got 1 hockey as well.
That's right, guys. Get up with Big Al McMordie over at Pick Document. You see the great results over the last 30 days. Over 1,241 units of profit. All document. All of Al's premium plays are documented. When you go to his handicapper page, go to his pick history. You can see all the plays there. Long-term pass is the way to go. It's November, heading into December. This is where you get the long-term pass with all these sports overlap, and get on board with Big Al. Use the promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off. Right, Big Al. Also, there are folks out there that can also sign up to your all-access pass as well.
Yeah, if folks want to text Big Al to 775-636-7676. It's for people who can bet large amounts of money on games. The reason for that is it's fairly expensive to join. It's all access. You get access to me for 24/7. You can ask me about any game on the board. That you can check in with me at 10 o'clock at night, etc. And you get all the plays rated from top to bottom. And if you're interested, just text Big Al to 775-636-7676. Last month, we were up 99,000 based on $1,000 a star. And we're looking to keep it going.
Keep it going, guys. Get on board. We've got the bankroll with Big Al McMordie there with that all-access package. All right, Big Al, as always, great having you on the show. Have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. I see. I'm just looking at the odds right now. They're betting the Cowboys as if the game is over. So
I know that.
13.5 right now. Like the number's flying.
I know, because what they just saw, right? The Cowboys are blowing out bad teams at home. If you quote call the Washington a bad team, they've been competitive against the Eagles this year.
Yeah. Now BetOnline just moved to 14.
Oh goodness. Keep it moving.
I'm just wondering if we're going to find out that Howell's not playing or what's going on. I mean.
It's just these folks with their models. They're just running their computer spreads based on their factors. They probably have seen against bad teams or whatever Washington's profile is. Teams with that type of profile are I guess performing well in their models. But again, Washington just seems to step up against some of the tougher competition this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just interested about this. In the NFL, it's a pretty big move.
Yeah.
But happy Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Talk to you next Wednesday. Big Al McMordie here on The Drive to. Let's continue on here on the show. Guys, if you ever miss a pick, we always recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here. I saw him sign in, so I believe we've got Wayne Scott ready to roll here. Catch Wayne over at Pick Dogs. We'll bring in Wayne right now. Let's see if we get to. We had some good discussions in the NBA last night with Wayne. Wayne, what's happening? Wayne, yeah, you're on mute there. We got to get your sound back up. Might have hit the mute bar. Wait for Wayne here to get connected. Let's see here. Well, he probably might need some more time, so we'll go ahead and move on here and bring in Rod Zawacky. Rod's got some hockey coverage tonight, so let's bring in Rod while Wayne gets his connection fixed. Rod Zawacky, catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. It's been good to us here on the show. Let's go ahead and get Rod in here in just a second. I hope you got that money line play from him. Eastern Michigan yesterday was a nice winner. Let's bring him in right now. Rod, what's happening?
Yeah, not too much. It's definitely been a great week here. If you've been tuning in to us here on the drive-thru, because definitely been making. We even took Marquette money line. Remember?
That's right.
Marquette thrown in there as well to get that one late, and they did. And Files are not doing so well here against Purdue, but we got a nice win there yesterday, and Eastern Michigan. Been a great start to the week. Come on, let's keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling with Rod. Yeah, Rod's been on a tear here. He's been absolutely. Doing great work here on the show, giving you guys some great winners, and we'll continue with that here with Rod as we get the right game up here. I got to get the game. I still had it on Chris's game. We're going to go tonight with Rod. We're looking at that Golden Knights and that Stars game. If I can get the graphic to pull here. Oops, I'm hitting the NFL. That's why I'm hitting the NFL button. I got to be hitting the NHL button. Here we go. Let's find. Here we go. Golden Knights and Stars going head to head tonight. We see the Stars favored -131, total of 6.
Yeah, and you look at this one. These teams have played one game already this season, and it needed overtime. Vegas got the win in the shootout in that one. You look, Dallas at home 5-3 on the year. Vegas 5-3-1 on the road. Who's playing the better hockey right now? Dallas is playing the better hockey right now. 7-3 in their last 10. Vegas 5-4-1 in their last 10. But you know what? These meetings between these two are always close. You look, 6 of the last 10 meetings have all needed overtime to decide a winner. Both teams can play defense. Vegas fourth defensively, giving up 2.5 goals a game. Dallas defensively giving up 2.8 goals a game. Offensively, both pretty similar as well. Dallas scoring 3.5 goals a game. Well, yeah, look at Vegas, 14th, scoring 3.4 goals a game. So almost evenly there. And you look when you get into these conference games here, which is what you got. You got Vegas averaging 3.8 goals a game, giving up 2.5 goals a game. You know what? I like Vegas here at this number. I know they won last time out, and this looks like a revenge spot that Dallas is going to get the win. I'm going to go with the Golden Knights here. Too much plus price here, almost at plus 120. With the team that these are almost evenly matched teams. They've been close all through the thing, and you gave me the plus money. I like Vegas to get the win here again in this one.
All right, we got Rod here on the Vegas Golden Knights to get the victory here against the Dallas Stars. And what I can only say here is just I think probably the line is reflective here of the scheduling spot here for this Golden Knights team. It's what the end of a 5-game road trip. But man, after this road trip, they come home. They play one game against Arizona, then they hit the road again for 3 games. That's like a road game at get home against Arizona. This is a really rough scheduling spot here for these Golden Knights.
It is a tough spot, right? I think more of a tough spot going to have to go back home and face Arizona in that spot at home. And then have to really, basically it's a fly in there, go home, and then fly right back out.
Plays like a road game.
Yeah, they get up for these games, though, versus the Stars. This is one of those games that I know they get up for. As I've said, 6 of the last 10 of them decided by overtime or needing overtime. So I think this is close, comes right down to the wire. I think if you want to sprinkle on overtime, I think that's not a bad play, but here's another better play for you, bonus here. I think Jack Eichel gets a goal, and I also think Jason Robertson gets a goal from Dallas. There's a goal scorer from each. If you find it in your book, you can get the parlay. Or each of those guys get a goal, plus 575. Even if you want to take them separately to get a goal, still good money on both of those guys to score tonight. And I think they do.
Yeah, when they lost 2 games, they beat San Jose. Everyone was beating San Jose. But one note here that they do have 2 days of rest here in this spot.
Right? They get 2 days off, so they're going to give it all out in this one. This is going to be a battle, hard hitting. If you like hockey, tune into this one. This is going to be a good one. This is going to feel like a playoff game between these 2 teams.
I was going to say that, the intensity.
These 2 teams will be ramped up in this one. Well, the intensity will definitely be ramped up in this one for sure.
So far this young season, who gets the top seeds in this Western Conference, in these divisions in the West?
In the West, well, the Golden Knights took off with such a lead in the Pacific, and then the Canucks. Watch out for the Canucks. Quietly, a team that's been rolling right along. I think the Canucks are going to make some noise this season. Look, this is the first time since 1974-75 that a defenseman has already scored 30 points in this early season. And that's on the Canucks. They've been ripping the puck in the net and scoring at such a high pace. Watch out for the Canucks in the West. I think they're going to make some noise this season. Looking good. Their young talent finally come together and gelling and playing real well. I think they're the big noise. In the East, there's a few teams. Boston's doing their typical thing. You look at the other side. The Rangers quietly 12-3 in the East. The Devils, they had a little bit of injuries, but they're still hanging around. You still have Tampa. Tampa's still hanging around. Even with them injuries in the AH, they're still hanging around and getting some wins. So still wide open in the East, I think. Really tight. Same with the West. Knights, Avs. It's going to come down to the wire. Stars off to a great start. Definitely some good hockey teams this season going forward.
About a month into the season, right? We started in October. We're down into end of November, so still a lot of time to go here until we get to April, middle April, right? When we get to the end of regular season.
We haven't even hit a quarter of the season yet.
Oh,
so
we had one coaching change already.
Lots of hockey left.
We had one.
I had one coaching change, yeah. And I might be looking for to bring the other one back because I don't think that was the reason why they were playing so crappy.
All right, there we go. Rod on Golden Knights tonight, plus 118 against the Stars. This one, 9:30 Eastern Time. This is the TV game, Game 2 of the doubleheader on TNT. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Win for tonight's action. Of course, we've got NBA on the board tonight, 14 game cards, college hoops as we speak. Lots of action tonight. Purdue up 5, or up 3. It's getting close now. Marquette making a run. Yeah, it's getting close. Yeah. Hockey on the board as well. Good card. We head into NFL tomorrow. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge Premium?
And over at Pick Dogs Premium, I got my 10-star play of the day in college basketball. Is that play? Went 2-0 yesterday in college hoops, looking to keep it rolling there. Also have a 3-pack, an NHL hat trick in today's action. I also have my NFL Thanksgiving feast, where I've got to play in every Thanksgiving game tomorrow in the NFL. Already up to scoop that up, so join me. It's probably, instead of buying all those packages individually, grab a long-term pass, grab a 3-day pass, join me for the rest of this week. You're going to get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'll have Saturday stuff in early, so you get Sunday thrown in there as well. So even better, join for a week. We got so much sports action going right now. That's the better way to go. 2-for-1 handicapper, not a bad combo as well. 2 has always better than 1. Definitely long-term is the way to go this time of year. With so many sports overlapping, trying to buy all these packages individually, easier to grab long-term. Continue to crush the books.
Crush the books. Indeed, get those long-term bats from Rod Zawacky. Use the promo code PICK. Save that 15% off. All right, Rod, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that great success. We'll catch up with you again on Steak Friday. But, of course, you got lots going on over at Pick Dogs. We catch that NHL video series.
Yeah, definitely check out the video series got going today. We got a nice parlay going there. 14 videos. Taking a break for Thanksgiving, but right back at it for Black Friday. There's 15 games Black Friday. So definitely like, subscribe, or you get notified when those videos drop, and you can get the best of the number with us. Appreciate everybody that tunes into those videos. Appreciate everybody here at Pick Dogs. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Definitely enjoy your turkey. And if you're not having turkey, hey, some people don't always have turkey. A lot of people do, but if you're not, hey, definitely enjoy your Thanksgiving. As we said, the 4 F's I've heard before. The 4 F's: football, family, friends, fun.
There you go. Keep it up that way. Exactly. All right, Rod, you take care. Have the 4 F's, and we'll catch up with you on Steak Friday or Leftover Friday.
Leftover Fridays, right? You have leftovers. How can you not? You gotta do Leftover Friday on Friday, because it's like you always got that turkey left over. How can you not? That's the best part. I love a turkey sandwich. It's a nice little turkey sandwich. Nice little cranberry mayo with the turkey sandwich.
Oh, yes.
It's good to go.
There you go. Got to get that mayo in there, or the butter. All right, Rod. Have a great night.
Or the butter. A little bit of both. Some people like both.
Yeah, butter.
Have yourself a good night, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll catch you on Friday.
Catch you on Friday. Rod Zawacky here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue on the show. Let's see if we get Wayne connected here. Catch him over at Pick Dog Spring. Bring in Wayne Scott. I think we're set to roll here. Let's see if he's got the sound working. Let's see where we're at here with Wayne. Wayne, you going?
Yes, sir. I hope so. What's going on? All right,
great.
That's good. That's good.
All right, here we go
That's
tonight. Good. The Raptors and the Pacers going head-to-head here tonight. Both tonight we see in this one the Pacers favored 2.5, total 241.5.
Just favorite at home, and some could argue that they might be the better team right now, definitely record-wise. But Raptors not far behind. Both of these teams coming off a game, but 2 different types of games. Raptors, they got beat pretty bad yesterday by the Orlando Magic. They got to put their starters out by the third quarter, so their starters come in with a lot of rest. Pacers battled in a tough game where 300 points were scored. They had to battle back in that game. Their starters played very high minutes. Pacers just don't play no defense, man. They're going to be a hard bet for me until I see them start to turn the table to 30th in defense. And, yes, they are first in offense, but coming off this back-to-back and them being at home, that's the only reason they're favored. We're getting points with a Raptors team, to me, who matches up very well with them. Halliburton is the Pacers' engine, so the fact that the Raptors have somebody like Schroeder, somebody who can get after him defensively, and at least is going to do enough to make him work offensively. Some people might not consider Schroeder that good, but he's better than a lot of people think if you actually watch him and pay attention to his stats. He actually was the only starter that was was plus on his plus minus at like 20-some points. He contributed way more than all the starters, and I look for him to make it tough on Halliburton. OG to make it tough on Buddy Hield, who they've inserted in the lineup. They went back to put in Nembhard. Yeah, they went back to putting Nembhard on the bench. They're experimenting with their lineup. They got the win yesterday. But just a tough game for them, and we're getting points with the Raptors, a team that I consider just as good as them. Although on the road, I like the Raptors here tonight.
All right, we got Wayne here on the Raptors +3 here. We can now verify the outs here. Nemhart out, Nesmith out, Achua out, Koloko out, Young out. Achua was somebody that we knew out, but Nemhart and Nesmith, that's some offense for them off the bench.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. As far as the injuries, Pacers do have the more significant out right now. Exactly what Tony just said. That's just more offense off the bench. We know they don't play defense, so they're missing offense. Raptors, they're actually playing better offense than last year, and they're shooting the three better from last year. They're the better rebounding team. They do turn the ball over more than the Pacers, but I think they make up for that on play. Is the key for me here, and I'm gonna roll with the Raptors in this one. Just think their starters are just as good. Got enough guys coming off the bench to contribute here, and they got a above middle of the ground defense. So I'm riding with the Raptors here.
Yeah, totals 4 points above opening number here, back to back for both teams. Pacers played that blistering pace yesterday, but they shot like crazy. But here we go, Raptors +3 here against the Pacers tonight, 7:30 Eastern time. All right, Wayne, let's take a look over at pick document for tonight's action. Of course, we've got on the board a 14-game card from the NBA. We also have lots of college hoops up there, lots of action on the ice. Head into a nice 3-pack from the NFL tomorrow with college football. What do you have going on over at Pick Docs Premium?
Have a loaded card for me today. Plenty of action. Actually have 3 plays in the NHL. I love the NHL card today. 4 plays in the NBA and 2 plays in college basketball. I have a 3-pack for you, and my best bet in the NBA and my best bet in the NHL. So you can get my multi 3-pack, or you can get my best bet in any of those sports. My college basketball would be for long-term subscribers, so you can grab my 3-day, 7-day, or 30-day. You can get all them plays bundled up, and the plays I have coming on this holiday weekend. Plenty of action, plenty of great college basketball, football, NFL games, and I'm definitely ready to light it up this week.
Light it up here with Wayne Scott over at Pick Dogs Premium. Get on board with the long-term passes for Wayne coming off a monster past 24 hours, 290 units of profit, all document over at Pick Dogs. Get signed up. All right, Wayne, as always, great having you on the show. See you that success. Have a great Thanksgiving. We're off tomorrow and Mitch will be covering the halftimes of the NFL games tomorrow. And he said anyone's welcome to sign in during those shows. So we'll catch up with you again next week.
Well, that's dope. That's dope. Depending on what the wife is dragging me around doing, if I can make it, I'm definitely going on there and chop it up with the guys with some nice halftime bets. I know these guys be making a lot of money on these halftime bets, and I'll be sure to join in if I can.
You got it. All right, Wayne, have a great night. Good Thanksgiving to you as well. Wayne Scott here on the drive-thru. All right, let's continue on up. Peace to you. Let's continue on here. Up next, we're going to bring in Dana Lane, catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We've got to cue his game in. I don't think I did that, but we'll just bring Dana in right now. We'll cue it on the fly. Bring him in right now. Ready to roll here with Dana Lane. Dana, what's going on?
Hey, Tony, how you doing? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. As I cue this game up, I was going to ask you this at the end of the segment, but, well, I've got to find your game. I was interested in that UNLV San Jose State game tomorrow. I think it's going to be an interesting one. On Saturday, I believe. Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, it certainly is. And there was been a big push from almost the minute that they beat Air Force to make sure that Allegiant Stadium is as full as it's ever been. And so it's certainly important for the program. I mean, people talked about that game against Air Force as if it was the biggest game in the history of the program, which is really not debatable. I mean, the last time that they actually won a bowl game was in 2000, and that was against Arkansas in the Las Vegas Bowl. And really, they thought that the program was going to take off from that point, but just did not. Remember that was John Robinson's team when he brought a bunch of guys in from USC, including Jason Thomas at quarterback. So that was a big year, but really outside of a bowl appearance against North Texas, I mean, there's been absolutely nothing going on with this program. So it is massive. And we talked about this 1,000 times, how, football used to be a thing that happened until basketball season started. And now all of a sudden UNLV is a football school. And the other aspect of this now is that, I've told you this too before, Tony. I mean, they have the facilities, they have the stadium, they have, not even arguably one of the better stadiums in college football. maybe not environments, but certainly in terms of facilities, there is absolutely no reason not to win. And Barry Odom's come in and turned the culture of this team completely around. Now, I don't think it's all on Odom. I think the culture, a lot of things came into place to change the culture of the team. But of course, we've had previous coaches, when Marcus Arroyo couldn't turn this thing around. And hey, look, I think people are excited about UNLV football. The sky is the limit here. There's been some projections where they would play USC in a bowl game. I mean, that's the expectations that should be had for this program. And for them to lose against San Jose State, I mean, that would be absolutely devastating. So maybe not cover, but I think that they'll win this game. I mean, it is tough. I mean, doing this as long as we have, Tony, coming off that big win, of course, a big win on the road, sometimes it takes a while to get your legs underneath you. But this is a big moment for UNLV and for its athletic program. We're really, and not to go too deep into this, but I've had a lot of relationships with their hockey team, which is at the club level right now, which has been an incredible program. The problem is with hockey, you need funding, and in order to get funding, you need your football team to be, one of top 30 to 40 teams in the country. And when you can do that, then your athletic department grows. So there's a lot of kids, even if they're not involved in football, whether it's hockey or some of the other lower level schools or sports, I really want this football team to start taking off, because then your entire athletic department can blossom.
Yeah, no doubt about that. 2.5 UNLV favored from an opener of -3. We've seen the total up a point from the opener of 58.5. That's Sunday noon Eastern time. Not good television coverage. I think Mountain West Network, a lot of local affiliates there. It's just a thing that, it's a bad TV deal here, a game of this magnitude, but that's how it rolls. But we got the game card ready, so we'll get to the NBA game tonight. Bulls and Thunder going head-to-head tonight, 8 Eastern. We see the Thunder favorite, total 222.5.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Oklahoma City have their way, at least on the offensive end, against the Chicago Bulls. The last 3 times that they've played, they've scored at least 120 points. It's the only team in the NBA that the Bulls have allowed 120 points or more in 3 straight games. And, if you're OKC, you've got to be at your peak. Now, the only thing I worry about is coming back after that road trip, but you got to be at your peak mentally. You just swept a West Coast run. You have an 8-2 ATS record against Chicago. You have to be, you're 10-4 overall. You have to be mentally at an all-time high this year. And we saw Mark Daigneault go, kind of shuffle his lineup a little bit. It seems to have everything he's done has worked. And the reason why it's worked is, when you're in these blowout games, when you're winning games by double digits or more, you're able to go into your bench a lot more than teams that are, winning games by, 3 or 4 points. So what happens is, especially when you're betting totals, that really benefits you when your whole team is engaged. So then, for instance, you don't have that big of a drop off when the starter goes out versus somebody off the bench. And we saw that here recently with OKC, because we know that Jalen Williams is going to be out. Well, that's not a big deal at all, because Cason Wallace is going to come in and pick right up. I mean, Cason Wallace is not a guy, you look at his numbers and he's, under 8 points a game, and you would think, oh, that's going to be a massive drop-off. But his efficiency level on the offensive end has been tremendous. And I watched him over the summer in the summer league. You're going to see a guy with a quick release. He's not afraid that he'll take it to the bucket. He'll shoot a 3 if he has to. I mean, he's got a really nice stroke from beyond the arc. He's a guy that is good off the dribble. He can catch and shoot. I mean, I don't think there's that big of a drop-off. So I think a lot of people are going to look at this number and say, oh, hey, your second leading scorer is out of the lineup. That's going to really hurt you. I really don't think it's going to. And that's the luxury of having a team that is able to win these games by double digits.
All right, we got data here on over 225, 222.5. This one's come down a bit since the morning here. And it's been coming down because of the news here on Levine, right? Levine's going to be out here for Chicago. That just came across here. Of course, that was the question I was going to have for you. Is it really I think the sweat here is trying to get Bulls to contribute to the offense.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the question mark anyway. And I don't know. There's a lot of problems. You talk to people that cover that team on a daily basis, and they will tell you there is just a lack of cohesion on this team. And maybe having Levine, there's some people that say that having Levine out of the lineup is actually a good thing. And I don't know how bad it is when the Charlotte Hornets are involved in talks and have a chance at Levine. I didn't read the story. I don't know if you have more insight on that, but with Levine out of the lineup, there's some that think that Chicago will be a little bit better. I mean, you get a chance to turn the soil over a little bit. You get guys that, want more playing time that are going to get more playing time. And, sometimes that leads to more offense and less defense because guys want to get noticed. And when guys want to get noticed, it's not about D'ing guys up. It is about getting to the hole and getting the ball through the hoop. So, I don't always look at these things as a negative. I always think they're kind of a positive because now guys want to show off with their newfound minutes, or guys that are in the starting five that also might want to get out of town, and they're at their best as well. But I guess the flip side of that is I don't know if it's the foot injury. I don't know if he's getting traded. We also saw that Alex Caruso was nursing a toe injury, and of course
he's in. Yeah, Caruso's in. Yeah. He's in the starting lineup, expected starting lineup for tonight. And it'll just be Levine out. He's the only one right now that's on the injured list right now for Chicago. So you're going to basically see Caruso in there, Kobe White guarding with DeRozan, of course Craig, Javon Carter, Dawson Moo, and Drummond expect to see some minutes off the bench.
And you could also bet that Billy Donovan always has this game circled. I mean, he spent his first 5 years of his coaching career in Oklahoma City. So I think OKC is going to be engaged. I mean, you'll know right where you're going to be after that first quarter, because that is really where Oklahoma City struggles. I mean, they are almost last in the league in scoring in that first quarter. But if we can get at least 25 out of them, I think we're on our way with Chicago. But I think if you get at least 25 out of the Bulls in the first quarter, you're on your way, because they are a team that has gotten stronger. In fact, I think they're above league average in the second half in scoring. So you'll know right away where Chicago is. But really, if we can count on 120 points out of OKC, which, we might be able to count on more, but we only need a minimal, 95 to 100, maybe 105 out of Chicago to get this over. And most teams do that in the NBA.
All right, Dana here on Bulls Thunder. Over 222.5, 223 now. You can find the number. This one tonight at 8 Eastern time. All right, Dana, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Premium for tonight's action. Dana on fire here in college football this year. Monster numbers, great the past 7 days. Winning day yesterday. NBA big card on the board. Head into some college football, NFL tomorrow. Hockey a big card. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
I mean, everything. I try to have plays up, at least 3 plays in every sport. I go really deep into college basketball because I like to give everybody action all day long. And of course, we know that we've had these early starts, which has been, terrific. But NBA 3-pack up there right now. Go and get it, because you're about 6 minutes away from the start of the first of the 3. So you get your NBA 3-pack up there right now, which comes with our Pick Dog win guarantee. Of course, people have been jumping on that 30-day all-access pass, and then we've had some 90-day all-access passes too, which is a tremendous value, because you can get that for just about $8 a day. So with all the sports going on, it can get a little bit overwhelming at times. And if you get that 90-day all-access pass, you're all in with college and pro basketball, the NHL, the college football season, which has been absolutely on fire. In fact, too, today, this morning, I slashed that college football season pass another $100. So you get the rest of the regular season, which is essentially this week, and then you get the championship games, the bowl season, and then the national championship game, all for $299.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Dana Lane over at Pick Dogs. Get those discounted packages right now. Long-term pass, the way to go. Dana's been on great tear here in college football. Let's get him through. Get on board with the package right through bowl season right now at Pick Dogs. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off, right? Dana, as always, great having you show. Continue that great success. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll catch up with you again next week. But let everybody know about your Against the Public with your betting series.
Yeah, every morning, try to get up as early as possible. There's so much on the plate in the morning, but it's called Against the Public. We go through at least 3 games where the public betting might be a little bit off what we might think it is. So we try to steer you in a better direction. But Yep, tremendous success on the show so far, around 55% winners, and it's been pretty consistent over, really since day one. So we're excited about. I'm very excited about doing that, and hopefully everybody joins in and gives you my 3 best plays, and then once in a while we'll put a special up there on pickdogs.com just for the people who watch that show.
There you guys, make sure you like, subscribe, set the notifications so when Dana drops that video series, you get it right away. Get those winners. All right, Dana, have a great Thanksgiving. We'll catch up with you again next week.
You too, Tony. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Dana Lane here on the drive to. Let's continue here on the coverage, guys. We'll get to my pick after we do the recap. So let's recap it here. My game goes off late tonight. It's a late night game. So let's go ahead and get the recap in here for you right now. We'll get it here in just a second. We'll find the recap. Here we go with the recap. Chris was on crack and puck line. Lay the puck and a half plus minus 114 against the Sharks. Mitch says Rockets -5 against the Grizzlies. Big Eye McMordie, we go college football here. Auburn plus 14.5 against Alabama. Wayne here on Raptors +3 against Pacers. Rod here on Golden Knights here plus 118 against the Stars. Dana likes the Bulls Thunder. This one's now over 223. It's kind of the going number in that one between these two teams. And of course, I will be here on the Lakers here plus the 2.5 +3. Do your line shopping. Obviously, get the best numbers if you can. You want to do that, especially here when you're shopping the numbers here. Let me see the one I like the most. I want to take a look at some of my notes. There's just so many games on the board here. I'm going to be accurate here with my assessment here. The one I like the most. I always do. The chat room can also chime in. Which one do you like the most in this one here? Let's see. I'm going to go with the defense here with the Raptors here plus the 3 in this one. So that's what I'll look at in that one. Raptors plus the 3, the one I like the most. Let's get back to my game here. We've got San Jose money line there from Panger here. Panger going that way. And let's see here from everybody else. All right, let's continue on here on the show. We got my pick, right? So let's tell you what I like here in this one. Mavericks, Lakers. We are going to come in with the Lakers plus 2.5. I think that's the going number now everywhere. Let me double check here my live odds screen. 2.5 seems to be the going price, and that's where it's at right now. Let me just check the injury report here. Just one last refresh. We know LeBron is questionable in here. We know Davis is probable tonight in the action in this one between the Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks. But we'll go 2.5 here with this Lakers team. If he is the question amount here, that calf contusion. So he was able to play in back-to-backs this season, 24 minutes. So we'll see how that rolls. But really, this is against the Mavericks defense, right? Mavericks not a very good defensive team. And we've seen Lakers against bad defensive teams really have their way against Portland. We saw them last night against Utah. This is a Dallas Mavericks team that, they win games, but their defensive numbers have not been on par. The Lakers have been solid as a home team, playing that defense, limiting teams shooting-wise. And I believe we have here, looking at the Lakers, the past 5 games, holding teams to just over 42% shooting. The Lakers are third at home defensive efficiency, holding teams to 105 points per 100 possessions. And we'll go here with the Lakers here in this one at plus the 2.5. All right, guys, check out that Pick Dogs stream for tonight. I got a 3-pack in the NBA. Document number 3 over at Pick Dogs this year in the NBA. So good time to get signed up with me. I got a 3-pack from the NBA, or you can go long term. I have a 3, 7, or 30-day all sports stats. Get all my pre and plays for that time period. Select. When you go to my handicapper page, make that purchase. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. All right, we got you guys a recap already. So that's going to do it for this edition of the Drive-Thru, guys. Be sure you tune in again tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, I'm sorry, we're not here. We're back here on Friday, off on Thanksgiving. On Thursday, Mitch will be doing halftime shows throughout the NFL game, so Mitch will be on. So make sure you guys have your phones, wherever you're at, have those notifications set. So when Mitch is live, Chris and Jay with him, you'll be live with him. Also, we gave an open invitation to the Cappers here on the Drive-Thru to be on there with them as well. So check it out. Make sure you check out those notifications. We'll be back Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, it always gets started here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time as we're here, but it's here every day here. During the week, it's 10:30 a.m. Each time with the morning show. We got Mitch, we got Chris, we got Jay. Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes, betting tools show, as well as professional roundtables, a discussion as well. We got Chris with a wraparound, Jay with his jam session, NFL, NBA. Also, Big Eye McMordie, all access video. Got Rod Zawacky with his NHL video series. Ron Romanelli, college basketball and college football rundown videos as well. We got Mills with his UFC rundown, also his prop videos. We've got Brad Francis with his parlay videos, Nick Metcalf first touchdown pass, Costly with his videos up there, many, many more here on the channel, guys. So make sure you like, subscribe, and set those notifications so when these videos drop, you get them in real time, get the best numbers. All right, that's going to do it here on the show. Thank everybody here for joining us here. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Blake Panger, happy Thanksgiving to everybody as well out there. Nicholas Handy, shout out to you. Larry in the chat as well. Rod, Nick Beats Vegas, Don Chain, as well as Adam Fears in the chat room. Big Benji as well. Cam Quinn in the chat room. Raven Ron, shout out to you as well. And that's how we roll here. All right, guys, have a great Thanksgiving. Let's bring in our crew from tonight.